What up, everybody? You know where we're at. Cobra's Customs. It's your host, Xavier, coming to you live from the countryside. Yes, breathing that fresh air, right? We are just passing our 1 year mark of having this chassis. It's that 2004 Mazda RX-8. And talking about this chassis when I got it is hard. It's hurtful. We got this thing, no hood, no bumper, missing doors, quarter panel glass gone, broken windshield glass, trunk missing. Like, this thing was on its last leg. Everybody had taken what they needed from it and left this thing to die, but I brought it back, you know. Love the RX-8 look. I know it's not a rotary motor. You've seen in the other video, I'm still running that 4.6 liter V8 made by Ford, 3-valve, paired up with our TR3650 transmission into our custom driveline, back to our stock RX-8 rear diff. We did just upgrade to a stage 2 11-inch clutch, stepped away from the stock OEM 10.5-inch, went to an 11-inch, give it a little more weight when we're shifting gears. We got this lovely distribution block off Amazon. That was a sweet hookup. Has a nice little cover on there so you don't get shocked, don't short things out when wires are passing by it. Still running some OEM tubing, coolant tubing from various trucks from Pick and Pull. Want to get some nice braided line, eventually put in there. We got some new lines on order for, you know, our air breathers and stuff like that. But it's a work in progress. We did go ahead and order these 100 PSI pressure sensors. We got one for our fuel line and another one we're going to be hooking up to our oil pressure eventually. But we just put up the fuel one just to make sure we could actually get these to work with our lovely Holley Terminator X ECU. Jumping inside here, new additions. We actually have a dash in here, which is huge. Makes this car look much sexier, in my opinion. We got aux beam lighting control, so we do have our headlights accessory to go ahead and turn our gauges on. You can see that it just says rear. It's for rear sprayers. I have sprayers on my rear tires for when they get hot. And then, of course, my fan. Kick that on and off. And there it is, the main the controller for the main brain, the Terminator X. Our ECU sitting up here in the dash. That worked out beautifully, so I can see the LEDs and actually read what's actually happening with that and the handheld. Rocking some just standard O'Reilly gauges, but they work great. I haven't had any issues with them. I thought the tack was going out, but turns out it was just the grounding. I didn't have a good ground, so it kept kind of shutting down on me. But it's been pretty accurate with what there is there and what comes up on the handheld, so I love that. We did go ahead and get a little custom offset shift rod here. When I was going into third gear with my shift knob that I kept hitting my fist on the dash, so we went ahead and got this little offset put in here. Also gives us a little bit more height. I like the feeling of that. Makes it easy to go from this, go to the handbrake. Put this simple little hook up here, hang our steering wheel, you know, join the club kind of thing. Obviously still missing a dash piece over here, but we're going to get that ordered up hopefully here in the next week or so. Clearly missing our roll cage, but that's in the works. And then we got our firewall. This is our temporary firewall. Went to go do an event, and they were like, where's your rear firewall? You have a rear-mounted radiator. We need that in here. You have a fuel cell. We need that in here. So went ahead and put that guy together in about 2 hours, sitting at the track. You know, went to Home Depot, grabbed some sheet metal, some screws, cut, screwed it in. It works. We definitely want to rebuild it, though. Want to get things a lot tighter and neater in there. You can see on the back here, join that big wang gang. I love this thing. Adds a lot of flair to it. First event out, of course. Got a little bit of a chain link fence, but that's nothing. I ain't going to fix it. I'm going to leave it just like that because I can tell that story over and over and over again. Love it. Did find out after the first event that it needed some more supports in here, so we got this little bit of cabling. Just kind of putting a little bit of tension on the wing, keep it in place. Once I get my rear clips in, it really holds down. Doesn't go anywhere. Love it. Got the infamous V8 powered. Yep, you know it. I'm going to go ahead and open this bad boy up. Looking in the back here, as you can see, we got a rear-mounted radiator. This is just a stock like F350 radiator. I was at Pick and Pull. I just found the biggest one I could. Brought it home, slapped it in. It works. Another awesome Amazon item. It is just a 5-gallon fuel cell, but it works for what I need it for. I had already mounted this rear bracing in here, so I needed something that was going to fit in there, and this worked out perfect. It does come with just a standard opening down there at the base where the bolts are at. I built this literally 2 days ago. Threw it in here. Love it. It's much easier to fill it up from up here than trying to get the nozzle to aim way down in there. You can see I got a couple relays sitting off the side. That's my fan controller and my fuel motor controller. We step over to this side. Got our 10 micron filter, our fuel pump, and then down below there you can see the gauge is our fuel pressure regulator. Check that bad boy out. Mounted it upside down so that way I could easily get to the adjustment nut and adjust my pressure if needed. But it is not mounted lower than this guy. So that way obviously if I bottom out, this hits first before that. We did do a new custom exhaust. We can't really see it. I guess you can. It's sitting there in the grass, right? We're really low to ground. We're about 3 inches off the ground, but with that 2-inch exhaust underneath there, it cuts it close. I went ahead and did a custom build on that. It's got an H-pipe in it and then splits off and comes out right in front of our rear tires here. So that's why I had to go ahead and get one of these. Which honestly, I had bought 2 of them. I don't know where the other one went to. It just disappeared. Someone walked off with it. I don't know. Maybe a kid. I might find it on a bicycle or a quad later. I don't know. But we'll go ahead and close this guy back up. Really like I said, really like the wing. It fits this car so well. I did have to bring it back a little bit so that way when the trunk is open, it's not hitting the, we'll call it the wind tunnel. We'll call it the wind tunnel. That's what we're going to call it. It needs to be rebuilt. When I did take this off to start working on the firewall and stuff like that, I did find that water had gotten into it because I clearly drilled holes and, chopped away at it a little bit to make the trunk fit right. And, water got in there, so it needs to be rebuilt. But we'll get to that. Excuse me. On the rear end, we got 17s. We're 17s all the way around. But I really like these white rims. I want to get a whole nother set of these. They work really well in the back. They look great in the front as well, sticking out like that. We got 2-inch wheel spaces on the back, 1.5 or 1 inches on the front. Get us away from that tie rod end. But we still have big dreams for this thing. This thing has been a great car, and it's going to get even better. Every day I'm out here working on it, looking at it, just fall more and more in love with it, kind of thing. Getting on the track, I feel like I can really handle it, so that's awesome. I did find the hard way that the kill switch is not waterproof by any shot, by any means. So I've been putting this spray cap on it to keep it from getting rusted. We're gonna go ahead and kick this bad boy on, jump in, see what it sounds like, see what you guys, or see how you guys like it. I really love the new sound. Went to two exhaust, dual exhaust rather than dumping into a single. Got our kill switch underneath. Fuel pump kicks on. There we go. Go ahead and give her the kick our alternator on. So yeah, it's still warm out. Our intake temp's 70 degrees, coolant to 92. Yeah. Oh, let's go ahead and we'll kick on our AC. Looks like one of our lights fell out. Oh well. And of course, like I said, rear fan. It's got the fans on now. Not that I need them, but I like that it has individual indicator lights letting you know what is on and what is off. That's been huge. But step outside. She has a little bit of a growl when she's at idle, but once I get those cams in here, it's really gonna have that old Mustang feel to it, really thumping. Not that I'm gonna get the thumpers. I think I'm gonna get the, I can't remember what they're called. They're like a step down. They're not quite as aggressive as the thumpers, so that way I can get a little bit better RPM out of them. So we'll go ahead and just give her a couple revs here. It's very nice, very nice. I like it. Like I said, I'm loving this car every day I'm out here. Every time I get to drive it, it has honestly been a dream come true being able to build this car. I want to thank anybody and everybody that's been out there helping me, giving me advice. You know, this is not, no build is ever a one-man build. I like to say I did this all on my own, but I haven't. I've had help, I've had support, I've had people, you know, egg me on to keep going. I've had people come in and do tuning for me. I've had guys give advice on how to approach certain things, and it has been a non-stop love for this vehicle. So we'll go ahead and kill her. But those of you that are getting interested in doing drifting, it's easy, man. Like, maybe not the driving necessarily, but getting into the sport itself. You go out, you buy a rear wheel drive vehicle and weld that diff, you know, make sure the motor's running right, make sure your shifts, your transmission's running right. You can do an automatic, it doesn't matter. I started on an automatic. Started with an SC300 with an automatic in it and still rocked that thing, loved it. But, you know, now I'm building my own thing. I'm building my own style. You don't see RX-8s out there doing this kind of stuff. You see RX-8s with LSs in them. You could look that up, Google that all day long. Google a Mazda RX-8 with a Ford GT motor in it and get back to me. Let me know how many are out there. This baby is a one of a kind. So I appreciate anybody and everybody that's been watching. Shoot me questions, comments, anything, you know, negative, good. I'm a big boy. If you got something bad to say and you say, oh, LS is rock the world, like, hey, cool, that's awesome, bro. To me, I fell in love with the Ford motors. You know, the 4.6 valve is big enough. A lot of people ask, well, why didn't you just go straight to the Coyote, the 5.0? I don't know. I just felt like that was too often of a build as well. The 3 valves are a hidden gem. You can get them for, you know, anywhere from $300 to $700. They're not that expensive. You know, you got the option for pulling parts from a truck or the Mustang. You know, so I liked the availability that I had, especially here in Washington. I felt like I had a lot more availability to this motor without being a copycat of everybody doing LSs. I'm not knocking LSs. They are great motors. I love Chevy vehicles. It's just I wanted to be unique. So this car is all about being unique. It is different. And I feel like I've accomplished that. So thank you guys for watching. I'll hopefully be posting more videos. I need to get some footage of this thing on the track because it is wild. It's the only one out there. So come check it out. If you're ever out at Evergreen Speedway, look for me, your host, Xavier Kober, out here, drifted by XLK. All right, there's a baby on board. Watch out.